big stage for people to announce video games. One of the biggest publishers in the world of video games is Activision. So let's talk about what they may or may not be showing off. Let's talk about what they may be showing off first. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'm guessing we're going to see that, Jess.
Probably see it. Yeah. Eddie and I were just talking about it. And obviously, you know, we've always got Battlefield versus Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny just how sort of disconnect between the people who make games and the people who play games. With like, you guys already talked about it, like how worried EA are that, like, you know, the historical setting is not something that gamers want to see. And then it was exactly what gamers want to see.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, obviously they're just really aware of the fact that Call of Duty is doing sci-fi and they've got the future. And it's interesting to me, there is Call of Duty fatigue, which I think has contributed to how much people are hating on that announcement and that
and there is
trailer.
just like there's a mob who's
People
out for COD in a way that...
Oh, they absolutely are. But it's kind of like, the thing is, at the end of the day, they can make a really great game. They have to take advantage of that setting, though. And they have to take advantage of the stuff that EA is afraid of, which is you can do cool shit with the future that Battlefield are not going to be able to do. Don't get me wrong, all the World War I stuff is going to be amazing. That's going to be a really cool setting. But, you know, if they get the right team together, if they have the right, like, creative vision, they can come up with, like, a brand new combat mechanics and all kinds of shit that's going to be awesome.
I mean, contemporary war stories were never good for the longest time, and then Call of Duty 4 came out. Like, with the right people on it, you can get it done.
And speaking of that, they've actually hired, after the big exodus at Infinity Ward, they hired some Naughty Dog people who came in who are going to be writing the story, which is, you know, exciting to think about. We don't know how it's going to be executed yet, but that's definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to. And then just, you know, space dogfights. I mean, you've never been able to do that really in Call of Duty, which seems really exciting too. And there's going to be maps on different planets. So,
I mean, and if Jess says, like, as she said, like, if you take advantage of that, if you have like 0G gunfights, which are weird, and like, you know, just like if you just say, like, it's a first-person shooter with the trappings of space, it's probably not going to be enough.
It needs to be more than COD in space. That's it. It needs to, like, really own this concept.
Yeah. So how are sales going for Call of Duty, Eddie? Because, like, it's so hard to tell, right? Because they seem to be selling really well every year. We're hearing that there's this plateau and a dip in recent years. Is that the case?
It's tricky because the Black Ops series is typically their #1 franchise overall. So, I mean, there's you know, peaks and valleys every time they come out. But you know, Infinity Ward is obviously one of the most... you know, one of the most respected, and they created Modern Warfare, obviously. So, you know, there are high hopes for this one, certainly. And it's the first one, you know, as of yet, they haven't announced support for last-gen consoles, too. So we don't know if that could, you know, free them up to do more things, that, you know, if they didn't have to think about last-gen, too. So
fingers crossed.
Right.
Yeah. Let's jump into another big game for them, World of Warcraft, Legion. That's a thing that's coming out.
That is a thing.
That's a game.
Any WoW players here? I used to play WoW.
I played WoW a lot, but you know, not recently. You know, I usually get drawn back when the expansions come out. I don't know if it'll be the case this time.
Oh, really?
But I'm definitely. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. There's a chance that I'll go back. I mean, in terms of subscriber numbers, though, every time there's a dip. Before every new expansion comes out, and right now they are at a 9-year low, so they really need this one to, you know, kick in and really bring more people like myself back.
Everyone I know who plays WoW plays it in waves. Like, they pick it up for a month or two when the expansion comes out, and then subscription is cancelled again when they remember to cancel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe they got to push off the movie. I don't know. It's been getting weird reviews at the moment.
Yeah, there's a promotion going on too, where certain theaters will give you the game and all the expansions if you go buy a movie ticket. So
what?
Crazy.
All of the expansions?
Well, all the expansions now are actually free as of like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. But
really?
you still gotta subscribe.
They want people back in.
Right.
Yeah.
God, I'd be so butthurt if I like bought them all in anticipation.
When you think about, like, I mean, it's still obviously the #1 paid MMO on the market. No one's even close. It's, you know, they're the genre-defining MMO. They've been out for 10 years. But seems like we're at a point of crossroads here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one of their more successful new jaunts into the world of multiplayer gaming, Destiny. Rise of Iron is a rumor we have seen. We've seen pretty decent, like, screenshot images, which are, of I guess, media, you know, promotional images, not actual gameplay. Do you think we're going to see that this year? I mean, presumably... They've talked about how they expect to fall off, and Bungie say that whenever we release a new one of these, it gets them all back on. That's the most important thing.
There's going to be an announcement event this coming Thursday where they're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what's next for Destiny, which the big, you know, the obviously the point is to Rise of Iron. But whether or not, I mean, and they've said that, or the rumor is that it's going to be larger, more substantial than House of Wolves and the previous expansion of The Dark Below. So there's a lot riding on it, though, too.
Cool.
I wonder if that's paving the way for them to do Destiny 2 at E3. My original thought is that it's too soon because they're going to want all the focus to be on their, massive latest expansion and people picking that up, not thinking about the next game.
Yeah, for sure.
But the fact that they're announcing it in advance, and we're probably going to hear a lot about the next expansion on Thursday. They haven't said it's going to be the next expansion, but it's a good guess. But yeah, I wonder what they're going to pull out at E3. It seems like a strange time to decide to talk about it.
Yeah.
Just ahead of E3.
You're right, though. There has to be a reason, right?
Yeah.
And if that's the reason, then that seems like an odd reason.
Because either they're not really going to say anything, so they can say more at E3, in which case, why hold it on Thursday?
Right.
Or they're doing it so then they can do a little Destiny 2 teaser or something.
What if
or
they just
go well into it?
What if on Thursday just announced Destiny for PC?
Oh, gosh.
Destiny.
Yes.
There you go.
I mean, they have, like, Eric Hirschberg, the CEO of Activision Publishing, was in an interview and he said, Destiny is a good fit on paper for PC. You know, everything sets up well. It's just...
Yeah.
And I don't know why they wouldn't do it. I mean, all their other franchises are there, most of them.
That is weird.
Yeah. It's it's one of these things you kind of forget about. Oh yeah, it's like Red Dead.
Yeah.
You think it's such an obvious fit, so why wouldn't they do it?
If you say it enough, it'll happen. So we'll just
we've been saying Red Dead for a while.
We'll try.
Let's look at. Looking at the rest of Activision's IPs, it is a big list of ifs, buts, and maybes. I mean, I can't see another Tony Hawk getting done.
I'm curious to know about what might happen with Guitar Hero.
Right,
They've
totally.
said sales have fallen, like they were below what they wanted, which it's not necessarily a death knell for it because maybe they had predicted too high. But at the same time, I've been playing the new Guitar Hero, and the new guitar is quite a leap from what it was, and it's not as easy to get into, which I thought was the whole appeal of Guitar Hero, was that anybody can pick up and play it and be a living room rock star, but it's kind of tricky this time.
I feel like it's also, we grew up with like that kind of guitar, like that I'm used to, and it's just like getting used to buttons that are next to each other and then down the fret is like, why?
Are we old dogs with new tricks already?
Oh gosh,
that's depressing.
We're just old. That's the problem.
What about Skylanders? I mean, Disney Infinity's fallen by the wayside. That space got real busy.
It's gotta help.
I mean, I think it has to help, right? Because with all the different players that were in there, that market just didn't grow big enough to accommodate them all, and something had to give. I guess it wasn't enough for Disney.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to keep going with Skylanders?
They've announced a new one coming this year. Yeah. The very last one didn't perform as well as they wanted.
Giants, was
officially.
It? Oh no, Giants.
Superchargers.
Giants a couple of years ago, actually. God.
So there's a number of, I was just in a Target retail store, and they have...
see Chris Waters?
I hear him, like, I know he's there, and yet it still surprises me every time.
It's like Santa Claus.
But I
sorry.
I'm not counting that out. I mean, obviously, Randy is a big Skylanders fan himself, and he always talks about how, that franchise has more appeal than maybe people are, talking about it. I mean, it's... something that I wouldn't bet against.
Yeah. There you go. Well, anything else you can think of Activision-wise?
Activision is just going to do Activision.
Well, they don't have a booth at E3 this year, which is interesting.
Of course, yeah.
And they've said, elected to partner with Sony for Call of Duty. Whether or not it shows up at their booth or, presumably it'll be at their stage show, on Monday.
All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Not too much longer, though. TikTok. E3's a coming. Make sure you check out GameSpot for all the latest E3 news throughout the week. We've also got 2 crazy stage shows. Downstairs, we've got the co-op stage with our friends at Screw Attack and Kind of Funny Live. And look at this lovely picture just appearing on my...
Bobby Kotick.
God almighty. It's my annual check-in with Dr. Bobby. Looking forward to that. We've got a great stage show downstairs. A wonderful trailer Rob Handler put together up on the site and on YouTube as well, I'm pretty sure, by this stage. And then upstairs we were doing game demos for 3 days straight. Myself, Jess, and Lucy are going to be manning that one, so that'll be great. We've also got a wonderful set of interviews with various developers, which should be great to listen into, so make sure you check that out. Thank you so much.